introduction. Who would like to start?
I'll go first.
Okay.
Hi, my name is Chris. I'm a second year from Marshall College. The reason why I want to run for YOCO is because just coming from San Diego, and this is our, for core, this is our target area, and I have close ties with this position just because I've gone to high school conference, and just the event of high school conference empowers me to actually come to UCSD, even though it wasn't my first choice. It allowed me to push myself to come to college, and with being a mentor in core, having that one-on-one interaction with students, it's actually helping me grow as a person, also helping them, and I feel that's that's beneficial to me to grow as an individual and as a leader. And with past experiences or working with the past youth outreach or outreach and youth empowerment with Abby and Arena, Prachi and Michelle, I've participated in both high school conferences, and just being behind the logistics and planning everything out, I want to continue that legacy of having a successful high school conference. So, yeah.
Hi, I'm Leanne Yano. I am from 6th College, and I am a first year. Well, some background info. I am from Stockton, California. I'm 8 hours away from home. I'm originally from an underrepresented high school, so I do get the feel of what most high school students here in San Diego feel with the fact that they don't have that much resources, and I really want to reach out for them. And also, I did come from a very rich Filipino neighborhood where most of us knew of the things you guys are teaching to others about in KP. I was also Filipino club vice president in my high school, so I do kind of get the feel of what's it like to have to work under deadlines, having to work with different types of people, reaching out to those who don't want to participate in clubs, in the club, and also I feel that becoming a youth outreach co-coordinator, I will grow as a person, becoming a leader, and I know that with this job, this position, there's going to be a lot of hard things to do and to deal with, and it's only going to help me out because nothing in life is going to be easy, and you have to just keep trying to work better and make sure that next time it's not just, oh, I know I can't do this, so I'm just going to give up. And I'm hoping that out of this position that I gain the experience of knowing how to manage my time, how to speak better with others, how to work with others, and knowing that I as a person who came from a similar background to most of the high school students here, that I was there for them. And just being from a place where you don't get as much resources, I feel that it's good for high school students to know ahead of time that they shouldn't be limited to just going to community college. I mean, it's great, but they should know what's out there for them, and I'm hoping that in the end of high school conference and core, whatever other tasks I have to do, that they gain something from me.
Thank you. Now we will go to questions. Christine?
How would you define access and retention, and how would you use those definitions in your position?
To me, access and retention is allowing the students to know what's out there for them and making them want to come back for more, knowing that they're not limited to whatever is expected for them, and letting them know that UCSD is here for them, whether it be joining KP if they become an incoming freshman here, or just like staying in the dorms, like they should know what's out there for them. And I'm hoping that as a youth outreach coordinator that they'll know that there's high school conference they can get involved with. There's going to be, if they do come here, there's Encore, there's so many things out there for them, they shouldn't be limited.
With access and retention, how that plays into my position or how I would use it is just spreading the word that higher education is for everyone. And I personally really want to be, not to sound like in a weird way, but to be used as an outlet or as a resource to these students, because coming from an underrepresented community, coming from a not very diverse community also in the Filipino community, it hits home. So many people from my high school, they didn't know the opportunities of college, and they just settled for whatever was after college, which I truly have a problem with, because everybody has the potential of becoming somebody. And with the access portion as a mentor, it helps just being there one-on-one with a student. Like, you yourself, me, I've gone through so many opportunities. Like, I can actually be their like swinging door to be like, oh, here's another opportunity, here's another opportunity. and have them see that these opportunities can actually go on for a lifetime, and having them see that, oh, UCSD is providing these opportunities. That's the retention part, where they could actually come here and see that what we gave you, you can actually come back or give back, and have that as a chain reaction. So
Yes, Derek.
Given that this might be potential, you two might be the potential YOCOs for next year. How do you plan to support each other's growth? And despite all the struggles and everything that entails being a board member, being like a punching bag or whatever stuff, how do you expect to empower each other throughout the whole year?
Well, as my first year, I was on board as a finance manager, and that was work. And like having, not only, I didn't have a co, I didn't have an activities, I didn't have a rec direct, like I had to do stuff on my own, so I depended on the board for support. And having actually a person who I can depend on and actually like, oh, what do you want to do? Like, and we can actually vent to each other, like the problems that we see, and just, it could even go outside the space. But empowering one another, I feel, for me, I would be a source for Leanne as her co, to actually help her grow in the space, just because I have experience. But just because she's new to the board space, I can actually learn from her in ways where, like, I would say I would need to learn how to step back, just because I just love to talk. But like, just listening. That's the thing that I need to improve on, and I feel Leanne can actually help me do that. Just because before this, like, I came up to her and was like, "Oh, how you doing?" Yada yada yada, because of PCC, and I see that I don't know, just the friendship that we have right now can actually foster and help us grow in the board space and empower each other.
Well, I feel that I can get a lot of insight from Chris. Just as like being a friend from him, being a friend with him in PCC, like we really did get along, and I understand that we are gonna butt heads, possibly, during a lot of the planning. That just goes along with any job. You're gonna work with people that you feel like, oh, I can't get like some advice from them because they don't want to talk to me or whatever. But that's part of the learning experience with becoming a board member, I feel. And from my understanding, I feel that boards should like help us along, just because we're new to the position, and that, you know, they know what's it like to like plan and all that stuff that goes along with the position, and that they should be able to tell us what's going to happen so we could plan ahead, get things started, and not fall behind with anything that's gonna come along the way.
Yes, Prachi and then Christine.
What is your understanding of the relationship between your position and yourselves and core, and how do you intend to facilitate that relationship next year, specifically in regards to high school conference?
From my understanding, core does a lot of work with a lot of underrepresented high school students, and being a youth outreach coordinator, one should know what they're getting themselves into, and I feel that you have to be able to work with those students and be able to connect with them and how do I well, part of the question? I'm sorry.
How would you intend to facilitate that relationship next year, specifically in regards to high school conference?
Well, core and high school conference do tie together because you're working with a lot of students who don't know what they're getting themselves into when they prepare for college, and just having two separate components of that, working with high school students, you're going to, it's a must, I guess you could say. Like, you have to be able to have these two separate components, like work in the relationship together, just because that you're working for the students. You're trying to make them feel like they have somewhere to go to.
As youth outreach, you're basically the liaison for core. And so you relay the messages from core to board, board to core. And there needs to be an open channel of communication in order for things to work out. And to tie that all together to help high school students and high school conference, we ourselves as leaders for youth empowerment and also as the students of UCSD, we are liaisons and outlets and resources to these students. So just being open to the idea of you could be an inspiration for one of these students. Like, it can actually foster a relationship that you have with somebody you don't even know. And that could mean so much to a person.
Christine?
So right now, high school students are facing a lot of challenges to achieve a higher education. What are some of these challenges, and how could you use your position other than high school conference to help empower these students?
Okay. So, repeat the question again? Just lost the truth.
Sorry. So right now, high school students are facing a lot of challenges to achieve a higher education. What are some of these challenges, and how can you use your position other than high school conference to help these students?
For me, I feel the biggest issue at hand is money. The economy is so bad right now, like gas prices are ridiculous, tuition is going up, and like students are being discouraged, and that's why they don't want to achieve higher education. In addition, like that's why they resort to community college, which isn't bad, but I mean, like, if there's an opportunity out there for you to grab on and go with it, like, go with it. But don't be, I feel money's holding a lot of people back from doing this. And one way that, besides high school conference, is actually, as YOCOs, actually going to the high schools, doing workshops with these students, like having high school, college related workshops to help these students know that don't be scared of the privatization of college. Like, that's what we're all struggling now. Like, some of us want to leave because it just sucks. Like, like college is so frustrating at times. Like, but I just don't want students to be discouraged just by money, family. It's just like you have to do things for yourself, and as youth outreach, like we can actually use our personal experiences to help these students realize that, oh, they did it, so why can't I? So empowering these students is something big, and going to high schools, being active in the after school program, and actually reaching out to the community that UCSD is there for you.
Wait, can you say the question again?
So right now, high school students are facing a lot of challenges to achieve a higher education. What are some of these challenges, and how can you use your position other than high school conference to help empower these students?
I feel that a lot of the high school students, like Chris said, are afraid of the money aspect of college. And as a student who comes from a lower socioeconomic background, I myself was afraid to come into college with low money, and I was far away from home. And you know, if I can do it, why can't they? And I want to.
Oh, it's your phone.
Oh, sorry. Coming from a lower background, low socioeconomic background, I feel that I could be a role model for them, letting them know that they are not alone in this whole process. Going out to the high schools and actually talking to them, wanting to know what their life is about, why they feel afraid to go to college, and letting them know that there are scholarships, there are grants, there's other ways you can get money, and don't be discouraged to go university just because you feel that you won't be able to support yourself. I know that's a big issue, but there's jobs, you're always working, and if you know what you want, but in the end of when you graduate college, it'll be worth it in the end. And I also believe that a lot of students are afraid of going against other students with their standards of their high school being that they scored 2,000 on their SATs, and that's gonna happen in the workforce. You're gonna go against people that probably went to a private high school or whatever. Their parents probably both graduated from college, but that shouldn't be an issue for anybody. Higher education should be available for everyone.
Okay, there's room for one more question. Yes, Prachi.
Wait, hold on. So as YOCO, you will be forced to coordinate and work with a lot of people. How do you intend to facilitate relationships with the people you'll be working and coordinating? And how will you deal with people who are unreliable? Because you're working with their schedules, and you still have to meet certain deadlines.
Of course, there's going to be people that are going to be too busy, they can't attend to certain things, and you're just going to have to find a way. Well, for me, I feel that you're just going to have to manage with that and work early on, so that you're not waiting till the last minute and saying, oh, I can't rely on this person because they're busy. That wouldn't be an issue if you planned everything ahead of time. And I feel that's how we could work with those who are unreliable and those with busy schedules. So you have to work months in advance.
I feel that when you work as a collective, planning something like high school conference that big, you need to foster a relationship or a friendship with the people you trust. And with committee heads, they're basically the people you depend on, and you have to foster a relationship where it's you have to trust them basically. But if the trust isn't there, this is why you have a co. You have to depend on your co. So I feel my number one priority is having Leanne's back if she is elected, and having the committee heads back, because I have so much responsibility, and I'm putting so much responsibility on them that I need to know when to back off a little, just because I know just pushing can stress somebody out. And I know we might get stressed out in the process. However, that's why we have board members to depend on. So it's just, you have to foster relationships with people on board, and just depending, support.
Okay, thank you, Chris and Leah.
Yay!